Moms are busy. You're managing grocery lists, meetings, kids' sports, family calendars, church responsibilities, and much more. And while many women have moved away from a classic day planner, my next guest says it just might be the tool you need to organize your cluttered to-do lists. Monica Packer is here. She's a habits coach who shares practical advice on her page called About Progress. And she joins me to share advice for successful day planning. So did this come naturally to you?
No, and that's why I think I'm the person to talk about this, because I am not naturally a day planner. I actually hate the process of day planning, but I love the results, and I also love not forgetting the piano lessons that I paid for and things like that. So here I am.
Okay, well, give us the quick once-over, like how often are you doing this? What's your general strategy?
Well, I think a good strategy overall for people who are wanting to get back into day planning is to know it's whatever helps you feel supported. So, because as you can see, there's such a variety of day planners, there's such a variety of types. So it's what's going to help support you. For me, what helps me is to make sure everything that's in my brain is out of my brain and that I'm able to prioritize that. And the way I do that best is one weekly session on Sundays, a kind of a longer session, and then a mini session each night to plan for the next day.
Okay, so you do, the big one is on Sunday, and then each night you're doing just, how long would you say?
So the Sunday session will maybe take me 10 to 15 minutes, and the daily sessions, I mean, a couple minutes.
Doable.
Most. Yeah, very doable.
I'm thinking hours. Okay.
No.
Okay,
No.
Do you think having like the perfect tool or planner, how important is that?
Not important.
Okay.
I mean, like these are the ones I've bought just the past few years and used and really liked. The Well You Planner was one I used last year. I really loved that. But honestly, if you have a piece of paper, a notepad, anything works. It's just about getting what's in your head out. And I can share about my actual.
Yes,
what
we're
I
going to
do.
walk through because
Okay.
you got some tips. So the first one is you have to set the planner out where you can see it.
Yeah, so after you've planned, you want to make sure that you have your planner out in a place that you're going to see often. I put mine on my kitchen counter to make sure I see it because I basically live there. And so just somewhere that you can check in on it regularly, not fanatically, but just so you're reminded about what you're doing that day.
And you're doing it the longer one Sunday and then every day, but what should our goal be for consistency, especially if we're just starting?
Yeah, that's one of the mindset tips I try to work on with women and their habits is that consistency is not perfection. It's doing things more times than not. If you're hitting more times than not, then you are being consistent.
I like that. That's a very easy goal to reach. You're doing it more times than not. I like that. I'm going to think about that with a lot of things. Exercise, all those things we're trying. Okay, and you said another one is that you're not going to list every single thing you need to do.
Yeah, and so is it okay if I bring it back to how I actually do the weekly session? Because the way I think people think of day planning is the way I grew up thinking of day planning, is you have every single thing listed out that you need to do, like in an entire day, and then you are time blocking down to the minute and checking every single thing off. The way I do day planning now is in my weekly session, I do a brain dump and I put everything out. And then from there, I put out all the time-bound tasks for the week. I just lay it out from my phone. I do my online calendar. And then from there, I actually look at what's on my brain dump and I prioritize, okay, like this thing will matter this week and this thing will matter this week. But on my nightly sessions, that's when I get to pull from the brain dump and just choose 2, maybe 3, very top 5 things I want on my to-do list that day. I'm not putting brush my hair on the list. I'm not putting start the dishwasher, switch the laundry. We're not putting our habits on there or the things that normally happen in our rhythm. The to-do list on your daily planner is just more about what needs to be the priority and what's most urgent today.
Well, I like it. Sounds like it's just a good mashup almost of your calendar and your to-do list.
Yeah.
And you're prioritizing, because then you say gradually we move to planning bigger segments.
So the way I had to get back into day planning, because I've done it several times. I've been into the habit and then I've had to fall out of it. Like early 2023, I had my 5th baby, and I had to put all these habits I had worked so hard on the back burner because it was a survival period. So when I began to pick it up again last year, I had to just start with the day, because a lot of planners have weekly sections or they have quarterly sections, monthly sections, year sections, and it gets very overwhelming very fast. So whenever someone wants to pick up this habit, I say just start with the day you're on, and then gradually you can work up to the week or the month or the quarter if you like and if you need it.
If not, just stick to those
Let it go.
basics. Let it go.
Yeah.
Because that is your last one that we need to remember, that you're saying we need to plan in a way that feels supportive for us, not overwhelming, right?
Yeah, the way I do habits is it needs to be sustainable. Habits are supportive and they need to be sustainable. So that means you plan in a way that is those two things for you. What's going to help you? For some people, that is the fanatical time blocking. That's the Stephen Covey-like planners that we did growing up. For other people, it's writing down the 3 things they want to do on a Post-it list for that day. So you get to decide, and if it's supporting you and you feel like you can sustain it, then you're doing it right.
How long do you tell people to give themselves to know? Because sometimes it might take you a little while to get used to it. How long do you tell people to give themselves?
Yeah. I think it's kind of a trick question because we all have those numbers in our head, right? It takes 21 days or 28 days to gain a habit. The truth is, if you have a small enough habit, it takes 1 day. And so that's where we can start with, like, put one thing on a Post-it note of what you need to prioritize the most that day. There you go. You have the day planning habit.
Okay, well, thanks. You put this in little bite-sized nuggets for us so that we can feel like we can tackle it. And I think now's a good time.
Oh yeah, it's never a bad time to start. Yeah, you
It
don't have to
doesn't
wait till
be
January.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to wait a whole year.
Just rip those pages out that you didn't do so far. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah, happy to be here.